Hi guys, and welcome to this week's deep dive. Once again, my guest this week is someone that you would have seen on one of the very early deep dives, but we've got some exciting news for you, so make sure you watch it. And we've got some live performances which are always great, and I know you enjoy them. But before we get started, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that notification bell. You'll be notified every time we go live with a brand new YouTube video. So without further ado, because we've got a lot to talk about this week, let's introduce our special guest, Mr. Joel Dickinson.
Hey, hello again.
How are you, mate?
I'm absolutely brilliant, thank you. And really glad to be on here again. I think I did your very first deep dive.
I think it was the first one. So if anyone hasn't seen that, go and have a look, because we speak more about your background. We're not going to repeat all of that, but we speak about more about you as a creator. But we've got a few products to talk about today, so I want to dive straight in and talk about these. So tell us a bit about what's going on.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, you just listed 4 effects that I've created over the years, and we've launched them for the very first time on Alakazam. And these are pieces of magic that I've worked on over the years. And I, as well as creating magic, I'm also a performer, so my living is heading out and performing magic. So everything, every single product here, these are all downloads, by the way. So but every download is tried, it's tested, it's performed, and to be honest, we're going to put it to the test, because I'm more than happy to perform the material to you over this.
Mate, that's brilliant. I always love your performances. I know last time you were on, you did perform Picturesque, was it? You did that
Picture Consequences, yeah.
Picture Consequences, yeah. The other thing that I want to say as well, and I'm going to hit off with this straight away, is that we are launching with 4 of your downloads, but if they purchase all 4, they're getting the most expensive one for free.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's a limited time offer. So there'll be a link under this video that will take you straight to the category. Just click on any one of the products and you'll see a bundle box in there. If you choose the bundle, I think the most expensive download is $14.95, but you're going to get that for free, and that's a limited time offer. So go and do it, because all 4 of these are great.
Thank you.
So what are we going to kick off with?
Should we get straight into a performance?
Yeah, go on, let's do it.
Okay, so this is it. What I want you to do, Peter, it's a packet of playing cards. There is one thing within this deck that is a little bit peculiar, and it's right here. It's a blue card within a red deck, and this card is my prediction, and I'm just going to place it and leave it inside the box for now. All right, you happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you've got a choice, all right? First of all, do you want me to shuffle the cards, or do you want me to leave them as they are?
I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't seen this effect, so I'm going to be awkward. Shuffle them.
You want me to shuffle them up? That's not a problem. I'll give them a really good mix, just like this. Secondly, the choice now is just for you. Do you want to name a number between 1 and 52, or do you want me to deal the cards down one by one and you say stop?
I'm going to name a number.
Go for it. So which number do you want to name? It's entirely up to you.
Okay, I'm not going to be awkward. I'm going to say number 18.
18. I knew you were going to say 18. Check this out. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you were here, you could deal these cards. There's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. The 18th card sits right here. And there were your choices and your decisions. Yeah. My prediction has been here all along, right?
Yeah.
Now, you've got the choice again. Do you want to see the prediction first or the card that you selected?
I want to see my card first, please.
That'll be this card, the red card from the deck. And that
Yeah.
card is the 2 of spades, which is a good choice.
Yeah,
Because
I'm happy with that.
previously and prior to this, my prediction is also the 2 of spades.
That is
Pretty good,
great.
isn't it?
That is
But the
great.
best bit, it gets better than that. Look at this. This entire pack that was under your complete control is completely blank.
Wow.
There's nothing to find. It's a regular deck of cards. And that is it. That's incantation.
What? So that's examinable.
Everything is completely examinable. There's absolutely nothing to find. You've got your predictions, you've got the packet of cards, and people can examine everything. There's nothing to see.
Wow. That's great.
There's nothing to see because there's nothing hiding.
I haven't seen that before.
But the really cool thing about this trick, that was just one kind of presentation for it. In the download, in the explanation, there are lots of different varieties. So you can use a regular deck of cards. You don't have to have a blank ending, a blank finale. You can use a regular deck of cards. You don't have to use a box. You can use an envelope. There are just a different variety of subtleties and nuances that are like thoroughly explored, basically. But I also teach a method, so you can do this with a borrowed packet of playing cards. So you can borrow the deck and you take a prediction out of the deck and you put it into the pack and then you proceed like that. So yeah, it's just...
That's really good. Really good. Really, I'm going to be watching that back.
Well, there's nothing to find, and I've performed it to you over the camera, but the truth is the actual method of performing it works a heck of a lot better up close with a group of people around you. You know, it's me performing to you, but when you've got a group around you and you're performing, or a family or a relative or whoever it is you're performing for, they can be up close and watch everything, and they really can deal the cards themselves. So yeah.
See, that's really nice. It's so free. The fact that I like the fact that you break it down as well, and it's like, now it's up to you. You can either think of a number or I can deal down. What would you like to do? I'd like you to deal down. Okay, but before that, you've got another choice to make. Do you want me to shuffle them or leave them? And that, to me, is really, really nice. It really feels nice, as if it's... they are making, in effect, every single decision. You're being as fair as you can possibly be, and it makes it almost impossible to backtrack, because straight away they're going to go, oh, maybe the deck was in an order. No, hang on a minute, he shuffled them. This was how... No, he gave it a choice. This was... Oh no, he did this. And you're closing... There's something in sales called the closing corridor, which means every negative someone has, you imagine it being a corridor with doors open, you go down and you close all the doors. And it's the same with magic. When... If you think about an effect, everything they're going to think of, if you can close those doors, they've got nowhere to go with it. That's great. And that's called...
incantation.
Right. That's brilliant, mate.
So... Oh, thank you. The other thing about it that's really nice, if they decide to deal down like this and call stop, what you can actually do is you can stop at this point, all right, and you can give them the choice. Do you want this card here? Do you want this card here? Or do you want this card right here? So now what you do is... they've got the absolute complete free choice. So it goes back to what you were saying about them having all options and all choices. So if they decide to go for this card, that's the one you pick up, and then you pull the prediction out of the box and you match perfectly. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, really nice, mate. Really nice. So, guys, that's only one of the 4 treats we've got for you today. So, what have we got next?
What have we got next? This right here.
What's that?
This. If this right here, take hold of it.
Yeah.
If that was something, what would you say it is? I'm just interested in what you would say right now.
I would say a dice. Or a die.
A dice. With that in mind then, roll the dice and have a little look at the number you've just rolled. But don't tell me.
Yep.
And you'd agree there's no way that I could know the number that you've just rolled, right? Because that's something that's in your mind and your mind.
I will say as well, we haven't set this up, and I'm going to write the number here on my pad so people don't think I'm just making it up. Okay.
Okay, cool. So whatever that number is that you've just rolled, all right, you said it's a dice, so we're going to stick with that, of course, and you've got a number in mind right now. So what we're going to do, in a moment, I'm going to try and remove some information from your mind. But what I need to do to really harness onto these thoughts is just flood and fill your mind with information, right? So we're going to try and give this item an actual physical feel. So imagine it actually feels of something. So let's imagine if you rolled the number 1, imagine that dice is made of, let's go for tin. If you rolled the number 2, we'll go for foam. If you rolled the number 3, imagine it's made of, I don't know, let's go for marble. If you rolled a 4, clay. If you rolled the number 5, imagine it's made of crystal. And if you rolled the number 6, let's go for like a natural dice, plastic. All right. So now really imagine that that dice has a feeling towards it, all right? Mm-hmm. And now what we're doing is filling your mind with information, and now we're actually making it so it's almost got a texture, all right? And this is what allows me to extrapolate information from your mind, because we're now filling it with information, right? And whatever that material is that you're thinking of, I want you to imagine it spelled out in front of you and focus on the letters, all right? And so there's an A in there, right?
There is, yeah.
And there's an L.
Yep.
And that is a C.
Yep.
And there's an S.
There's no S, no.
Focus on whatever it is. I thought I was doing all right there. That doesn't really matter. I tell you what, let's try and take it a little bit further, right? Take this dice, focus on the number that you've rolled, and place your hands behind your back, all right? Yep. And I want you to move it from hand to hand as much as you want. And at some point, you're going to stop, right?
Yeah.
And then when you're ready, focus on which hand it's in. And if you rolled, let's say, a low number, like 1, 2, or 3, place the dice in your left hand. If you rolled a high number, like 4, 5, or 6, put it in your right hand, all right? So the dice, you've been moving it around, it's either in the same hand or it's changed hands. Only you now know where it sits, true?
Yeah.
So now, whatever the number is that you're thinking of, I want you to move the dice that amount of times.
Yeah.
And tell me when you've done that.
Done it.
Do you want to move it again?
No.
Bring both of your hands out in front of you as if you're hiding the dice. And you would agree there's no way that I could know which hand this dice is now in, right?
Yep.
But if I could tell you with certainty, somebody could take a guess, but if I could tell you with certainty which hand it's now in, that would be amazing. You even had the choice at the end to swap hands, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that that dice, although it's in one of your hands, is in your right hand.
It is in my right hand, yeah.
And the dice, I believe, if I'm right, is made of clay.
It is made of clay.
And you rolled the number 4.
And I did roll. Can you see that? The number 4.
There you go.
That's really good.
Thank you.
Really good.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? There's a very organic kind of build up to this.
Yeah.
And you know, when I perform this on lay people, and I perform it regularly, it gets incredible reactions. There's no backtracking that can be done. In fact, the way it's layered is that when a person, a lay person, what do we call them now? What do Alakazam call them?
A lay person, yeah.
A lay person, when you perform this to a lay person, when they do try and backtrack it, they've been given so much free choice that they can't backtrack it. It's just it's been designed to be. I'm telling you which hand it's in. I'm telling you what you've made it out of, and I'm going to tell you the number that you've just rolled.
Yeah.
There, when I did it on you, I didn't really build up the revelation. I could have recapped. I could have said, look, you've put it in any hand. You've decided what it's made from. You know the number, but I'm the only person who can tell you what this is. People can take a guess, but the chances of them getting it right are very, very slim. There's even a phase that I've missed out where you can be a liar. You can lie or tell the truth.
Right.
So now I can tell you if you're a liar, I can tell you which hand it's in, I can tell you the number that you've rolled, and I can tell you what it's made from. So from what started off as one little object and something that's in your mind, we've just revealed 3 or 4 things, however you want to kind of play it.
That's so good. That's so good.
Yeah.
And that's called Roll With It. Now, Roll With It is the most expensive download of the 4. But remember, if you follow that link below and pick up the bundle, so all you got to do is click on any one of the 4 products that come up. You'll see the bundle in there. If you select the bundle, you're going to get all 4, and you're going to get Roll With It totally free of charge. So you're going to save yourself £15. But this is, I can't stress this enough, this is a limited time offer. So,
absolutely,
go and grab it. But that's great.
Thank you. I think with Roll With It, it's just been something that I've really enjoyed creating. It's been a process of time. It took quite a long time to kind of get it to where it is, but the memory work and everything like that is just so straightforward. There's extra information and ideas from Michael Murray within the download. There's a performance by me. There's a performance by Michael Murray. There's a performance of me performing it to a lay person as well. So, you get to see it in, perform thoroughly and extensively, so you can get a really good feel for it when you watch it. But as I say, genuinely, the memory work in this is absolutely minimal.
Yeah.
There's nothing
really good.
Well, there really is. You've got to remember a little something, but once you remember that thing, it's made so easy.
Yeah. And for propless mentalism, there's surprisingly little process.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing the hand behind the back, that's not really a process. That's them making a decision. That's not a process.
Exactly.
The process is done so early on, and from that point on, you know exactly what's happening. It's it's very, very clever. Very clever.
You're extrapolating lots of information, but it's so easy to keep track of.
Yeah. It's really good. Really, really good. I love that. So that's Roll With It. So we've had Incarnation and Roll With It. But we've still got
we had Incantation.
Incantation. I've written it as Incarnation. I'm going to rewrite that. Incantation. So that's good. 2 of them down, but we still got 2 more to talk about.
Yeah. So what are you going to play next?
I'm thinking of Peak.
Yeah, Peaked. So Peaked, I won't say too much about it because you've got a full performance of it to play and let people see it. But I really, really love this. This was originally released in my book, and then as time went on, again, I developed the routine and then finally released it once again, and here it is now at Alakazam, and it's a killer peak. And the thing is, can I say something very quickly?
Yeah.
I'm going to digress slightly, but for me, the invisible dice routine, when I perform with an electronic dice, I hope I'm all right to say that on here, but when I perform with an electronic dice, I always have to have a routine that to the audience has to almost be believable or achievable. So I don't like to give somebody a dice, they have a look, and I tell them the number they've rolled. Like everybody who I know who head out with electronic dice, they have to create a believable path with the routine, right? So that's what I've kind of aimed to do here, to add an element of entertainment whilst keeping it simple and straightforward. But now we're coming to Peaked. When I head out and perform, if I haven't got any device on me at all, what I like to do is perform peeked, because it's a method to get a peek of a playing card that's placed down on a table and the performer never ever touches it. You don't need a wallet, you don't need anything to put, or you don't need any peek devices. This is another routine that you can put some business cards in your pocket and you can head out and get a peek. You know?
Brilliant. So, I just want to say as well, or ask, so on here you're obviously teaching the method. Do you teach routines using that peek, or your go-to routine using it as well? So they're getting more than just how to do it.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. In fact, there's a couple of different variations to do it again. So you're going to see Michael Murray's handling, and you also get my handling within the routine. They're both very, very similar, but as we know in magic, little subtleties and nuances make things different and right for that performer. So you get Michael Murray, and I really love Michael Murray's material. I love his thinking, and I love what he's done within this performance that you're about to see.
Brilliant. Well, should we take a look at the performance and then we'll be back?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Peek.
So Joel, I've got a small number of cards here, okay? What I'd like you to do is I'd like you just to take one of these cards, and I'd like you to write the name of somebody who plays an important role in your life. Okay, and hold the card up, make sure that I can't see what you're writing. That's most important. And then after you have written a name on that card, I'd like you to place it amongst the rest and then mix up the cards to such an extent that you don't know where that card is.
Okay. Good mix.
Yeah, a thorough mix, I trust you.
Okay.
And then having mixed the cards, I'd like you to lay them in a small row across the table. As you're doing that, I need to ask a question. Have you ever heard of something called psychometry before?
Yes.
Now, psychometry is the apparent belief that certain psychics and fortune tellers, when given a personal object, they claim they can pick up impressions from that object and not only tell a lot about the history of the object, but also tell a lot about the owner of the object itself. This is something that's based entirely on feelings, which is where this experiment comes in. What I'm hoping is just based entirely on feelings. Push that card towards me. That I can distinguish the card that you've written on. Place that one there. From the rest. Yeah. Now, if I have been successful, Joel, and I don't want to look, it's most important that I don't look at any point, but can you just verify if I've been successful, then that card there should be blank. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. If I have been successful, then this card should also be blank.
It is.
Yes. And also this card too.
Yeah. Hey.
Okay.
Well done.
Now, of course, I appreciate from your perspective, having just watched this, you may be skeptical and you may think, well, this is just a 1 in 4 chance. You know, after all, you've got a 25% chance of hitting on the card. But what if I was to say that you're going to do it this time?
Okay.
So can you just take those cards? I don't want to touch your cards. Slide it amongst there, just exactly as you did before, and then mix the cards again.
Right.
I don't even know why I'm turning away here, Joan, because this time I'm not going to be doing it, it's going to be you.
All right, okay.
So lay the cards out on the table. And as I say, this is all about feelings, okay? So you don't even need to look at the cards yourself. Just hold your hand above each card. Maybe if you lower your hand a touch, you should find it easier, and just work your way through each card in turn. And just notice the difference in the feelings of each card. And then when you're ready, just slide one card towards yourself. Perfect. And you genuinely felt something there.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, when you begin in this exercise, it's often easier to break things down, to chunk the cards together. So can you just maybe work with this pair? And again, just exactly as before, just pull one card towards you. Okay, and now if you have been successful so far, then those cards should be blank. I don't want to touch them. I never want to touch any of the cards. Just turn them over.
Turn them over, yeah.
Okay, so far so good.
Okay.
Okay, now this is the moment of truth. Just slide those cards together.
All right.
And now we're just looking for that difference. So again, if you just hold your hand over each in turn, and this time you're just looking for the difference between them. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there, the difference is there. So turn that over, that should be blank too.
Yeah.
Perfect. And now you've managed to discern exactly as I did before which card has the writing on. Now, it's one thing to try and discern where a card is, but to try and extrapolate information from that card is a little more complex. Now, obviously, we're not going to expect you to do that because you already know what's written on the card, but I've never touched this card.
No.
Let's just try this. Okay. Okay, this is interesting. This is interesting. This is a definite female presence as opposed to a male presence. And I'm also okay. And this is somebody that you have often confided in, and this is somebody that you would put 100% of trust. You put 100% of trust in this person. Yes, this is a female presence, but it's also an older female presence. And by that, I'm saying that most often people would maybe go for the close friends, but I don't think this is a friend at all. This is a relative.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is not, again, most people when put in your position would often write either the father or the mother on the card, but I don't think you have done that. You went for somebody slightly older, and this would be, is this your grandmother?
It is.
This is your grandmother, and okay, to be more specific, this is your grandmother, Myra?
Yay.
Yeah, Myra. Perfect. I don't want to touch the card. Can you pick it up and
Yay.
can you just show the camera?
It's Myra.
Perfect.
That is so nice.
Yeah, really nice, isn't it?
And do you know what? The other thing that the things that I really like about your effects is they're very thought out with regards to structure. And I always say this: structure of routine in structures of effects, they can make or break an effect. And the beauty of this is, once again, everything happens so far ahead of time that they can't backtrack it.
Yeah, yeah, and everything happens ahead of time as well. So now what you've got is the rest of it, the future of the performance once the dirty work's been done with all of the routine so far, is it just comes down to playing, it's performing, interacting with people. But you're also, with all of these routines, I think the thing that we have done here, we picked routines intentionally that all flow really well together. Because with just a blank packet of playing cards, you've got your card at any number, you've got the same deck of cards can be used to write the information on, and then we've also got this invisible object. So everything right now has just flowed perfectly well together. It's almost created a little set.
Yeah, no, it really has. So that one is called Peak. It's one of the 4 bundle, and remember, if you buy all 4, you're going to get the most expensive one, which is Roll With It, absolutely free. Just click on the link at the bottom, or pop over to our website, because there will be a banner up there that will take you straight to the Joel section. And we are going to be having more downloads from you in the future, but we've still got one more to talk about. Now, this is quite a long performance. I think this one's about 7 minutes or so. So we're not going to sort of hang about. We're going to play it right now. But this is the fourth download in the series. Do you want to say a few lines before we play the trailer?
If I can do, is that all right?
Yeah.
The only thing I want to say about this is, one thing that you've already touched on, it is quite a longer performance, but it's, if you're the performer and it's a bit too long for you, like a lot of Magic, it's modular, so you can take little elements of it out, you can speed up the performance. But what I will say is, if you are watching this, don't cut off, watch it all the way through, because I'm intentionally building this up to arrive to the final outcome. And the final outcome, I'm not necessarily going to say it's going to fool you, but I think it will. But what I am going to say is, you'll see and appreciate how nicely and how beautiful the structure of the routine actually is. So for me, it's well worth watching, because when I actually perform this, it baffles me. Genuinely, and I've told you this before, Peter, that every time I perform this on somebody, my mind is blown, like blown. And watch closely, because it's crazy weird. It really, really is. So, should we get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it. And I'll be honest, this
Come
is going to
on.
be the first time I've seen it as well. So
It is.
I've been looking forward to this, because you did say what's at the end, because it's really good. So
make sure
anyway,
you stick in with it as well.
and so this is called Pendulum. It's one of the 4 downloads. And remember, you can buy the downloads separately if you so desire, but buying them as the group, you're going to save yourself £15. So let's have a look at Pendulum.
Okay, Debbie, I want to introduce you to this. Be honest, have you ever seen this before?
No.
Never. This is what I call the pendulum of information.
Okay.
Sounds a little bit strange, but you're going to be using this in a moment for something seriously weird. All right? Something that is beyond describable. Do me a favour, take hold of the cards and have a good look through them so you know they are just a regular packet of playing cards. All right? Every card, you can take my word for it, is different. Okay? Give them a really good shuffle. Shuffle the cards up. And this here is the pendulum of information, as I've already told you. And this is exactly what we're going to use. All right? There is red and there is black. And inside your hands are red cards and black cards.
Yep.
Yep. You've shuffled the pack,
Yeah.
so just place them down for now. All right? And just turn over the top card, which is a red card. Now, the really strange thing is, when you place this pendulum of information over the card, you'll see that the pendulum will swing in a straight line, which is unusual. You may well believe that this is somehow manipulated by me, so take hold of the pendulum and watch. You see how it is swinging in a straight line?
Yeah.
All right. We'll get rid of the red card for now, and we'll have a look for a black card. A black card, there is one right here. Well, this is the strange thing. For you and for me, then it's swung in a straight line.
Yeah.
Place this over the card and look what happens. Get that nice and straight. And if you watch, you'll see that the pendulum starts to swing. What would you say that's doing? Swinging. But if you focus on it, you'll see that the swinging starts to become bigger and it becomes a large circle. And if we focus, it's going to get even bigger. Focus on the bottom of the pendulum. Do you see how that now is swinging really, really big?
Yeah.
And that is, what shape would you say that is?
Circle.
A circle. And now if I take a red card and I place the red card underneath, watch the circle change instantly into a straight line, which is unusual, right?
Yeah.
Now this is where the real experiment comes in. You can take hold of this. I'll take hold of this, sorry. You take hold of the cards. Give them one more shuffle,
Okay.
a little bit of a mix-up. And what I want you to do is just place the cards down, spread the cards in front of you. We're going to remove what we're going to call a target card. So slide any card out, and we're going to seclude it into this little envelope right here. And I'm going to close that in and I'll place it just there for now. We'll get back to that towards the end. Square the cards up for me. Lift up the cards anywhere you want and remove one single card and place it down here. That's brilliant. And then, just like before, take hold of the pendulum. Place it over the card. What did it start to do before? In a straight line. And now when we place it over this card, have a look, you'll see how it's actually calibrating right now, and you see it's going to start to become what I think is going to be a line if you watch really close. I don't want to put words in your mouth. What would you say that's doing?
Going in a straight line.
Which would indicate that that card
Red.
is red. Do you want to turn it over? Red. Do me a favour, remove another card. You can go into the middle of the pack, you can take it from anywhere you want and place it over the top. And already, you can see with certainty that, what would you say that is?
Straight line.
Which means the card is?
Red.
Do you want to turn it over? There you go. Now I'll tell you what we'll do, cut somewhere in the middle of the pack. Alright, cut again, just to make it completely random, and then we'll take a random card. Alright, and place it over, and let's see what it does. Already, what would you say this is doing?
Circle.
So if that's swinging in a circle,
Black.
it's a black card. Do you want to turn it over? I don't want to touch it. It's a black card, which is unusual, right?
Yeah.
Now, can you remember, right at the beginning, we segregated one single card
Yeah.
over here. I'm going to slide it over here. And the reason why it's segregated is so that nobody can see it. Therefore, there is no form of influence. It's a completely free choice, but it's always been hidden inside the envelope.
Okay.
All right. Place the pendulum over the envelope. And instantly, I can see that's getting even bigger. There's no doubt. Well, again, I don't want to put words into your mouth, but what would you say that is?
Straight line.
Which means
Red.
a red card.
Yeah.
Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
And that has come from you connected to the pendulum. Did you see what the card was?
No.
Do you want to see what it is?
Yeah.
And if this is red, you would agree that that is unusual, right? Is it red?
Yeah.
And it is the 9 of Hearts. But here's the really weird thing. Do you remember right at the beginning you selected this card?
Mm-hmm.
You spread the cards, you removed any card from the pack. Yeah? And you selected the 9 of Hearts, the card that I told you from the word go is the most important card in the pack. See, you've been connected to this pendulum all along.
Yeah.
And this is the pendulum of information. And there's a reason why I call this the pendulum of information. Because inside this, if you have a look, you'll see that this actually unscrews. And inside there, what do you see?
Paper.
A piece of paper. There's nothing else in there whatsoever. What is the card you've just selected?
9 of 4.
You selected that yourself. You went through the pack. You could have removed any card. And this says the 9 of Hearts. That is the pendulum of information.
That's good.
There you go. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. That's freaky.
Wow. Talk about saving the best till last. That was amazing.
It's really nice, isn't it? It's a good flow.
Really good. Once again, I mean, I always say well structured when I'm speaking to you, but it should just come as red, because everything you put out is just beautifully structured as a routine, and obviously that's because you perform and work and tweak these routines till you're happy with them before you release them. One question for you. Obviously it's a download, so you don't get the pendulum with it. Where do you tell them where they can get pendulums like this, or what it is? Or
Yeah, absolutely, I do. Actually, it's not a pendulum. It's just something that I've adapted into a pendulum. You can buy these online. They're very, very cheap. I mean, like you're looking at maybe £5-6 for one, or you can buy a couple of them. You can actually get, what's really nice is you can buy them in 2 different sizes together as a package. So one's quite small for close-up, but there's a little bigger pill box as well. So if you have like a parlour style performance, you can pull out a bigger scroll and reveal the playing card. So that works really, really well. But yeah, these are really accessible online, but you don't actually have to perform the routine with, you know, this specific. If somebody performs with pendulums already, or they just want to make something at home, then you can do. But you can do this with, you could use a little velvet bag on a piece of string, and do it like that. There's lots of different ways that you can make this up, but again, it doesn't have to work as a card trick. You can do this as a living and dead text. You can have photographs of I don't know, people, and it can identify if they're living or if they're dead, and you turn it over and it says dead or alive or whatever. There's a lot of different approaches that you can take, and then the last one that they select face down, you could pull it out of the envelope and it's a person who is dead, and the pendulum said they were dead, but then the name matches with the scroll in the pendulum or something along those lines. So it's not just a card trick, it's the way that the routine's structured, and it gradually builds, and it starts off nice and slow, but it's still really freaky. And I genuinely perform this on people, and there's one specific memory that I've got of doing this on somebody, and I was just messing around with a packet of playing cards, and I wasn't taking it serious. And this lady, she held on to the pendulum, and it started to spin, and she threw it down straight away, and she went, "I can't do it, it's my dad." And I'm there going, "Oh, right, okay." So it has a lot of impact. It really is a powerful piece, and it's the idea that that's what a pendulum does anyway, but the whole routine, the way that it's structured, is just to eventually get to somewhere, and where you arrive to, it becomes even more impossible,
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. Fantastic. So that's it. That's the 4 downloads that are available and being launched today. We have got Incantation. Incantation. Yes. We've got Roll With It. We've got Peak. And we have Pendulum. Peaked. And Pendulum.
And Pendulum.
And you can get all 4 by popping over to our website or clicking that link below. And remember, if you take advantage of the limited time offer, you only pay for 3 of them, which are the cheaper of the 4, and you get the 4th one, which is the most expensive, totally free of charge. And they are instant downloads. So the moment you purchase them, they will be in your Alexam account in the downloads section for you to start learning today. So if you've got nothing to do today, I presume you're watching this on Sunday, if you've got nothing to do, Joel is providing you with 4 killer routines that you can learn. Mate, it's fantastic.
Thank you. There's nothing knuckle busting, but what there is strong. There's a lot of very strong magic. Even Roll With It, you literally carry nothing and you can perform it. You can perform it quicker than what I did on you. Everything's adaptable, to your performing style. So you can change little bits and pieces, and even with Peaked, if you wanted to add extra cards in, you can do, or you don't necessarily have to have them write somebody. You could have somebody who's alive and the others are dead, and you identify who's dead, and so on. You see, so there's lots of different scope. It's not just what I've shown. It's like these methods are also tools as well to, and the explanations, they explore that as well. Nothing long-winded, and I get straight to it. So, yeah. And I think one thing that we've just done is showed everybody full performances of everything.
Yeah.
And you can't beat that, right?
No, 100%. So, Joel, thank you so much for joining us on the deep dive. I will say as well, we've been discussing some exciting projects that could be happening in the future. So we will no doubt see you on the deep dive again. And I know there's more downloads coming as well. Guys, join me in thanking Joel for joining us on this week's deep dive. Thank you so much, Joel.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you very much. I've enjoyed it. Thank you, Peter.
Right, so we will speak again soon. Guys, thank you as always for joining me on the deep dive. Remember, before we go, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. You'll be notified every single time we go live right here on YouTube. And if you haven't visited the site in a while, pop over and have a look. We've got so many great new products on there. And remember, this is a limited time offer. You can get all 4 of these downloads for the price of EP23. So pop over and order yours now and learn yourself some new magic today. But as always, thank you so much for joining me. It means the world that you're here, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Actually, next week we have got a live launch happening right here on the deep dive. I say live launch, it won't be live, it will be pre-recorded, but it is a launch and it's happening right here on the deep dive. So this will be the first time you get to see the trailer, interview with the creator, and it's someone that you know, and it's the first trick he's released in many years. So we're really excited about that. So join me on next week's deep dive as well. Until then, have yourself a great week, and I will see you on Tuesday's live or Monday's live launch. We got a live launch tomorrow if you're watching this on Sunday, so join us for that, 7 p.m. on both Facebook and YouTube. But until then, have yourselves a great week. I will see you very soon.